The fact that we would, in this House, be seeking to legislate against non-violent protest in such an illiberal and draconian way seems to me tragic at this particular point in time. There are broadly three areas, as the Secretary of State knows, where I and other colleagues attempted to amend the bill and where we have concerns. The first is, as the Shadow Secretary of State pointed out, the conflation, well, the separate identification within the bill of Israel, its conflation with the occupied territories and the Golan Heights, we do believe contravenes our undertakings at the United Nations and indeed international law, and that, of course, we think will mean that the bill spends a lot of time in the courts if it eventually sees the light of day. That also, at the same time, is a cause of great dismay to our allies in the Arab world, who, of course, we need at the moment, more than ever, to join us in seeking peace in this dreadful conflict that's taking place in the Middle East, and that we should undermine our own status as fair dealers, if you like, in that part of the world seems to me an unforced error. The second area of serious concern is obviously the impact on free speech. Again, as the opposition frontbench has pointed out, it seems to me incredible that we are putting elected officials and others in a position where if they just stand up in certain circumstances and say they disagree with the law, they will be committing a criminal act. It seems to me an incredibly illiberal and backward step that we would strike a blow against pluralism in that way. The bill could stand without those restrictions on free speech, and as the Secretary of State will know, we attempted to amend it to remove them as well. That was also rebuffed. The third area is the sheer scale of the impact of this bill and the number of organisations that are going to be drawn into it. So not just the local government pension fund, of which I am a member, but also every university in the land, private sector companies who perform a public service of some kind, who are contractors to the government, will also be drawn in. And this is important because, as the Secretary of State will know, this area is a very litigious one. There are lawyers sympathetic to Israel and those sympathetic to Palestine. And it seems, from the Secretary of State's statement, that this bill is aimed squarely at that particular conflict in this world. There are lawyers on both sides who will gear up. An industry will arise to attack, defend, analyse, scrutinise every decision that is taken. And all these bodies will have to take significant internal legal advice to deal with it as well. And so subjecting all of them to this enormous burden seems to me disproportionate to the problem that they're trying to impact. But then finally, Mr. Speaker, my greatest concern is for the impact on British Jewry. As the Secretary of State has said, he's trying to bring this bill in to, I guess, deal with the growth in anti-Semitism in the United Kingdom. But my view is that this bill will play entirely into the hands of the anti-Semites. I would imagine that those social media groups and WhatsApp groups, these rotten groups that espouse conspiracy theories about Israel and about the Jewish community, this will be manna to them.